Hello, this is Lorena, and I'm back with another Duelist video. I recently outed myself as otherkin on accident, but I do not feel ashamed of doing that, because the United States government just motivated me to actually just say it. I don't feel like I'm treated as human by the government. Humans aren't treated as human by the government. Everyone is treated like trash, and I do not approve. Anyway, the United States government isn't the worst in this regard, but I definitely feel like I feel like people just don't always treat me like I'm human. And also, the fact that I'm different from everyone doesn't help with the fact that, well, I'm not like everyone around me. I'm not trying to be a snowflake, okay? I've just been through some shit. You understand, right? I mean, seriously, I've been through shit. I just don't want Social Security to get rid of my benefits. I need the medication. Also, what am I going to do without a functioning phone? What do I do if my mobile device doesn't work? Dude, in modern society, we need phones and internet. But this isn't a complaint about the internet bill. This is a complaint about my inability to afford a phone bill if Social Security takes everything away from me. I'm like, dude, if you take away my benefits, that doesn't make me less disabled, that makes me worse. And again, I think I'd be worse than my sister if they took away my benefits. And now, obviously, I would definitely be more worse off if I lost my medication rather than just the benefits alone. But I still feel like you really need to be careful, Social Security, because I'm in a very unstable household. You really think that someone like me should what? Exactly, how do you reason that? I just want an explanation. How do you reason that I should be free? I don't need my benefits taken away from me. I need the medication. The rights to the medication are important to me, and also I messed up. Anyway, the rights, I just need my medication badly. But I also need the money to afford a number of things because I am an adult and I need to be able to pay my phone bill because sometimes people need to contact me. And if they don't have a way to do that because I have no money, then how the hell do people reach me? Through my house phone? Most of the time, only spam calls go through. I mean, there's very rarely an actual human calling the house these days. That's because most people have switched over to mobile devices. If I have no money, then I'm basically not a functional adult. I don't get to go without a phone anymore. That's not what the culture is. As a culture, as a species, phones have become the norm. And sure, I could get a less advanced phone, but even the cheapest of the cheapest requires some money. And I'm just over here thinking, my mom has said that my benefits help with covering bills. She said it helps. That was one of the main reasons I applied, was to financially help her. And I don't think that taking away my benefits is going to do anything but make everything worse. And I don't think Social Security is going to do that to me. I'm just saying that I don't feel like I'm treated as a human being when people like this are running the country and positions like Social Security. Now, admittedly, people in power are usually in power because they thirst for it. And the people that thirst most for power are the ones that don't deserve it. The ones that shouldn't have it. But I don't like feeling like I'm treated like I'm not human. Like, dude, I know I outed myself as otherkin, but I'm not delusional. I'm not delusional. I am physically just as human as every one of you. I'm physically human. I'm not dropping the subject. I want to be treated like a human being. So, can the United States please rise to this? No, the United States government isn't listening to me. It thinks that I don't need to live. It thinks I should probably go somewhere else. Okay, sure, but that's a trash opinion right there, because I'd be contributing a lot more to society if, society was healthier and more of the United States citizens could afford housing and healthcare and basic needs that have become a modern necessity. I mean, I understand why people need to work. I understand that working is important, but in order for me to work conditions need to improve for everyone. Not just me, everyone. The average person. The people getting screwed over by the pandemic. The people who would be able to afford housing if the country was reasonable. I mean, seriously. I know, I understand, nothing is perfect, it will never be perfect. But I want this country to be a good country. I want it to be better. But I don't know when it's going to be better or if it's ever going to get there. And also, I'm kicking my own ass, but let's be real, I'm doing that all the time, even when my opponent isn't myself. Oh my god, I am so dead. Okay, well, while I am busy being nearly dead, I may as well try and see if I can make a comeback, because I'm kind of known for this shit. I am so pissed at the way things are in this country. But I'm more pissed at the people working minimum wage. And that to be able to afford to survive, but they can't because minimum wage isn't high enough. Really? You should fix this system, United States government. But then they wouldn't be able to mess people up. They wouldn't have as much power if they gave rights. No, I don't care about the government's rights. I care about human rights, not government rights. Government rights are secondary to actually living a good life. Everyone needs to live a good life. Not just the government, not just the rich. Everyone should be able to live a good life without being punished for it. Wait a minute, good people living good lives? Very rarely punished, but I think I'll cut myself some slack on that one, since I don't think the pandemic spared anyone. I mean, even the president had the pandemic at one point. So much for the most powerful position in the world. I mean, I'm not going to say this person's name, but I mean, he did everything he could to get the pandemic. So I'm sorry, but when you make so much effort to make sure you are at risk, then you're probably getting it. And if you're old as hell, then you're most at risk for getting the... I don't understand. Someone that is at risk for getting the virus did everything he could to get it. I'm still disgusted that, you know, I mean, okay. The pandemic shouldn't be a political issue. People can die from that thing, okay? When my mom thought it was not a joke. She was crippled. She wasn't able to do shit. It was bad. I was crying the night I found out she developed it because I didn't want her to die. Anyway, I do not support. I do not support wishing death on anyone. But if you are most at risk for developing the coronavirus, and you do everything in your power to ignore experts, reject scientific information, and do everything you can to be most vulnerable, then what are we supposed to do when you get it? Are we supposed to feel bad for you? I mean, I would like to as a human being, but you need to realize at some point that you're an idiot. If you don't get vaccinated, you're an idiot. And now I understand that there are many reasons someone may not want to get the shot, but even I got the shot. I was crippled in my bed during the second, whatever, anyway. Trust me. I understand that getting shots suck, but get vaccinated or you're a moron. Dude, I'm insulting everyone that hasn't gotten vaccinated. I said that I roast characters, not people, but I think I've moved on to at least insulting idiots. I would like to apologize for this sin, but I am not sorry. I am not sorry. If you're an idiot, you should be called out for it. If you're endangering life, then you are not safe to anyone. You are harming yourself and others by being at risk because you refuse to get vaccinated. And don't get me started on the people that think vaccinations cause autism. Okay, well, having autism can make you experience a number of things. I mean, I'm not an expert on every experience an autistic person can have, but I would put it on society to be at fault for why being autistic sucks. Society is to blame for this, not the individual. Yeah, I'm saying it. Being autistic wouldn't suck as much if we could be a bit flexible with people that are autistic, you know? Although I am aware that there is such thing as low-functioning autism, and I don't know how bad that can get because unfortunately I can't speak for that. I have high-functioning autism, but I still have some of those struggles. Not all of them, but some of them. I am very sensitive to the taste. I'm sensitive to things like textures. I can become overwhelmed by sensory things. I know that I'm not necessarily... Why didn't this still happen? Okay, I'm done asking. That's everyone that matters that I need to ask us about. Oh my god. Okay, I have no problems with what actually happened, but seriously. Alright, so I was talking about, autism. Yeah, I'm very sensitive to things. Like, my most sensitive sense is texture. I'm very sensitive to touch and also to taste. Texture is just very, very sensitive to those. And I can also be sensitive to lights under the right conditions, but it's very difficult to meet them. Very difficult, but as difficult as it may be for that criteria to in fact be met, it has been met. For weird reasons, it has been met. I cannot say exactly how it has been met, just that it has been. That I've got so much going on internally that I have been sensitive to light and sound even. And now, admittedly, a lot of people are going to think this is bullshit, but I have a lot of energetic stuff going on inside of my body, and that's why the energetic stuff adds to the physical plane stuff. And as a result, that adds to the sensory experience, which can be quite overwhelming. Because I can feel the energetic stuff on a physical level, so there is that. And because that is a thing, you can just imagine what that means for me. I really don't like when people just think that the spiritual doesn't exist. And now, I respect your beliefs if you don't believe that. I'm not going to be mean to you if you don't believe that. I've learned to behave. But, let me be honest with you. I experienced a lot of shit that people would probably just think is just out there. I said that I'm Medican, I'm a soul bonder, I'm otherkin. Yeah, there's a lot going on with me that you can pretty much guarantee that I'm not entirely what some people would say is in touch with reality. Some people might call me a snowflake instead of someone out of touch with reality, but I'm not really sure what reality is anymore. We say certain things are just real. We say things are just, okay. Scientifically, we can say what the boundaries of reality are. We can say the limits based on what we know on a scientific level. But we say too many things are just life, and that's not always true. It's just life. Okay, sure. But I think you're placing limitations on reality that don't actually exist. Reality is not necessarily what you think it is, just because you would rather it not be like that. I know it's tough to imagine that reality isn't as restrictive as you've come to know, but trust me, it isn't. And now there are limits to reality, yes. And I cannot violate those, because I understand those limits and I'm not an idiot. But I also think that there are things that we just simply don't understand, and we don't have to be a jerk when someone has experiences that aren't generally seen as normal. Like, we're missing a lot, guys. The spiritual aspect of life has its place. Hell, even religion has its place if it's not toxic. And now, some religions are very, very toxic, and they often tend to be after a point. But that doesn't mean that religion can't be good. There are many people that actually are happy with their faith and their religion. Their religion makes them happy, and that's good. We shouldn't discourage people from pursuing what makes them happy. But we also shouldn't encourage people to believe things that will ultimately hurt other people. We should encourage people to have faith, but in a way that will not cause harm. Because minimizing harming other people is the ultimate better option for all of us as a human collective. And as a species, we need to be less obsessed with the material and more in touch with the fact there's more to life than just what you see with your 2 eyes. Just ask the blind, they can't see shit. But I'm sure they have a rich life going on inside of their heads. Because they have other senses. Just ask them. If they can read, there's a system of text that allows people that are blind to read. I think it's called Braille, but I don't know it, so I don't know how it works. But I generally get the impression that it works based on feeling things, but learning it seems a bit difficult. Of course, I'm not blind, so I am the most privileged person alive to say things like this. But again, we shouldn't judge people for being different because that's not automatically a bad thing. We should just demonize someone for being different if their ways of being different are harmful and causing people to get hurt. Not just them, but other people. And ideally, we don't want people hurting themselves either, but humans can be stupid, so we can't prevent every incident of that. We can minimize the chances of that happening, but we can't stop it forever. Humans will accidentally hurt themselves. That's a thing. We can't stop that. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap things up for this video. In the next video, I have no idea what will happen, but hopefully I make less misplays.